You want some Housewives tea? Okay. So Andy Cohen came out with a book. My podcast producers were on the air with me today, and they said, have you heard what he said in his book about you? And I said, no, because I didn't even think I was in his book. I didn't know I'd been in any of his books, really. So he said that when they announced RHONY, new cast, and legacy, that he texted me and said, hey, I know you've moved on with your life, but is there any chance? And I think I said, hit me with your best shot, because that was like about a number, right? Because I don't know, I can't imagine what the number even would be to do that, to be honest. There's always a number. Not always. I don't even know if there is. But anyway, so when I was asked about it or talked about it either on here or I don't even know where, I said that I thought that it was a boring release, because the release was a statement about launching 2 shows. So it was confusing marketing, because you were talking about 2 different things, but not 2 different things fully. Like, the legacy didn't even have a cast attached to it then. So it was like, wah-wah. And a lot of inside people who work around Bravo agree. They just thought it was a weird announcement. It felt pressure from the fans, want to know what's happening with New York, so they just put this thing out, and it felt not fleshed out, so much so that there's no RHONY legacy at all. So I can't be that far off base. So on one of my platforms, I said that I thought it was a boring announcement, and I guess he didn't like that, which he mentioned when I was on Watch What Happens Live. My response is, the sphere of Andy is radio and on his show Watch What Happens Live, and obviously in the media, not unlike mine. And when you walk into Watch What Happens Live, you spread your legs, you mention it all, and you know that you're going to be part of clickbait. You might be ambushed, that even when you're not on and other people are on, that they're being asked provocative questions about you. You know that you might be asked something that might get you in trouble, aka J-Lo or some other housewife, that the fan questions are vetted producer questions that Bravo very well knows you're going to be asked, and they're often to set you up, or a poll that makes you look like shit. The list goes on. No problem. But I'm no longer in that sphere anymore, so I don't kind of have to participate in all that. So Andy has his place where he discusses things, whether it's my podcast, RHONY, or, you know, whatever he decides to discuss, and I have mine. So when I'm asked, I'm going to say what I think of an announcement, just like when he does his radio show or Watch What Happens Live or all the other places that I get to look bad. He has those platforms. So he didn't like it, but it's kind of a double standard, because we are friends and there are hundreds of private texts that we have between us, and there are things that I'll never share. But if I'm asked what I think of a press announcement, I'm going to say what I think. And just like he said what he thought of my RHONY podcast when he was asked. It's got to be, you know, it's a 2-way street. And frankly, it's usually a 1-way street when you're on Bravo, because you have to be on Watch What Happens Live and just get trashed one way or the other and drag yourself through the mud of the press. So I'm not on there anymore. And I talk to you guys about my opinion on things. What do you think?